Tahoni just subscribed with Prime.
Hello gamers, are we back? Have the ads gone away? There we go. Hi everybody, welcome. I'm going shirtless for this one. However, if you would rather cover me up, the options are available. But maybe not for a little bit. Hey. So I've heard good things about this game, Of the Devil. I'm excited because, as I understand, there's both lesbians and murder, and we solve the murders, potentially saving the lesbians. I'm here for it. I'm all for that completely. Never ask me to cover up. I mean, you don't have to ask, but we can get more decorative. I can wear the cultist outfit, and I guess I could put on the artificer outfit, but that does cover me up a little bit. But then I get supercharged and I have glowing eyes. And that's kind of gay on its own way. Anyways, maybe if somebody hits the destroy costume button, I'll show Nip. I'll scoop my avatar up and I'll let you see Nip. Drives by in a car and throws a brick at your whore. And what about it? I am not above transactional worship. Hiding out from things currently. Nipples are valid and appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, there's some real bad headlines out today, unfortunately. Please know that you are all safe from the bad headlines here. We are going to enjoy a little bit of visual novel gameplay today. That's my thing now. Too bad. I'm stealing your brand. I'm visual noveling on main. We're gonna do it. This is the demo. I've only downloaded episode 0. Persona High Level 2. So valid. me making eye contact with many other monsters, to be honest. Like, hello. Nice to see you. Your eyes are up there. I'm looking down. I should really not check Blue Sky until tomorrow. I would... If you don't want to be distressed, if you want to have a nice Monday, if you want to have a good Pride Month, I would just maybe not go on social media for a hot minute. I did it earlier, and I had an experience, a bad time. So I would say maybe let's hang out with each other, smaller internet, smaller spaces. Let's be cool. So yeah, I've heard. I think that the episode 0 should be about 3 hours long. Ooh, yeah. I bet. Yeah. This should be about 3 hours long, and I think that should basically fit into one stream. Hopefully, I don't have to cut it into, but I think we'll make it. I don't know that much other than this is in the future. There are lesbians and so on. Yeah, and I don't know. Let's dive in. What are the controls? Space, A, escape. Oh, okay. Easy peasy. Quick save, though. I've got to remember quick save. I'm a quick save abuser, and I'm not afraid to say it. Depending if you want to dip or not. I also want to be unspoiled. Well, this is just the first... I believe if you... It's not like progress locked, I don't think. Because you can do new case. Let's see. Yeah, see? You can start with episode 0. You can buy episode 1. So let's see. Have a good workout today. Nice. Always nice to have when you have a good workout. I had a workout. It was fine. I would say it was an average workout for me. But yeah, I'm going to do episode 0. We're going to see how this goes. And I don't know, maybe if I'm really thrilled, we'll continue more. Last time I did a visual novel, I did a lot of reading and my poor voice was pretty hoarse. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Hopefully I can find a good voice for most of these characters too. Go to chat and never swap to say, where's my lesbians? Well, we're on the lookout. I'm looking very carefully. We're on lesbian watch. We will protect them. There we go. Episode 0. Of the Dead. Rainy cyberpunk city. Do I click? I do. Okay. Rain sizzles off neon above me. The summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street, and a slight blunting of the night's ambience. Emphasis on slight. Okay. Lights, cameras, and constant noise. The city's got insomnia, with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the second-hand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. Is it okay if I didn't see episode -1 yet? I think so. I don't think there's any episode underflow. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. I'm also realizing that I should be scooting closer a bit. Alright. If the audio is a little bit off, let me know. It's a bit loud. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Relatable. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. Yikes. Morgan. Criminal attorney. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown, and always online. Yikes. Whether it's incandescent, or neon, or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen, there's light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, anonymity is scarce, and criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. You don't balk at public defender work no matter the hour. And should you find yourself on one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke him if you got him. Not that there's much else I can do until my phone. Counselor, your public defender contract has been approved. Texting with state system, got it. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early. I'll try. It's streamlined with Twitch.gov. Oh god, I hope not. There'll be emotes all over the case. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask for a lawyer. If they're really smart, they'll have used that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy. Episode 0. And he shall appear. Disable tutorials? I would like tutorials, please. Thank you. Teach me to play. Suspect not found. Yikes. Precinct 254. Oh my god, this whole thing's automated. What a nightmare. It's a goddamn ghost town. With nothing but a hologram for a welcoming party. I'm hearing about a homicide? High clearance rates be damned. You think they treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever. If I'm that unimportant, they've got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. It's me, Future Orc. I'm here to tell you about my latest romance. Random Orc streamer. Oh my god. I could be Future Orc. I would love to be Future Orc. Cyberpunk is like kind of one of my favorite settings. And if you're flat broke, no one will give a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. Heads up. Press escape or click the phone icon to access the pause menu. Okay. You can toggle auto text. I don't want to do that. L. L is the log. Okay. Mouse look around for points of interest. You can click or press space to find them automatically. Oh, okay. Earn credit for investigating anything and everything you can. Oh boy. Credit is both a measure of your information gathering skills and your own credibility. So don't go broke. Okay. I am going to turn down the music just a little bit. There we go. Oh. The medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Could probably blow the warranty on one of these things with a loud sneeze. Hey, just gotta spend it to make it earn your first credit. At least it's not broken entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-to-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you always get observed at state buildings, I see. Renate of your nerd, has a complex relationship with Shadowrun. I bet. Shadowrun, oh. I mean, to begin with, like, it's already an interesting system with an interesting setting, and then it sure made some choices, didn't it? Oh, Shadowrun. Still never played it, though. But there's a few missing persons, too. 1 year of Silver Plan coverage, courtesy of Caduceus, as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate. Observe. An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. Though museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lots of unpacked boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. Love the game, love the lore, will not run it often. Yeah, I feel that. That's kind of how it's... I enjoy the lore, I enjoy what I can do with it. But I don't know if I could ever run it. Then again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel. And all during billable hours. But there's no room to sow doubt anymore. Not when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a recording. Oh. You had to create new dice rules because you ran out of D6. Just do D12 and divide by 2 if it's more than 6. If you gotta. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a piece for them. Oh. Yikes. Okay. Hello? Datapad? I'll bite. Even when they're mostly more advertisement than article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Articles in the environment, they offer insight to the world around you and credit towards your investigation. Are added to your phone's reading list after you first read them. Okay. Proper takeaway after reading your... Oh, okay. Oh my god, reading comprehension? They actually want me to... Okay. I don't know if I'm going to read through this whole thing, but I'm going to try and... I'm going to give you my takeaway. Irreparably flooded. Drain and repair the system. Saltwater damaged. Electronic... Okay. 89% of subway system was evaluated as critically compromised. Yikes. Civil engineering efforts will be refocused in maintenance. The hybrid super infrastructure system. The canopy high above the city streets. Okay. Investigations into the councilman's long campaign finance regulators. So he's one of the major backers. People and corporations alike have little choice in how they complete their morning commutes. So true. Subterra made headlines last year for the radical proposal with personal submarine taxi pods. Getting some flashbacks. First prototype in the city came in a disappointing 3,000% over budget. Jesus. Mind-bogglingly wasteful and impractical to the extreme. Subterra has probably declared the intention to resubmit the proposal package. Water rises and falls all the time. Sure. Okay, so we got the paywall. There are dissenting voices. Okay. Ballsy of them putting the paywall there. As if I'd reach for my wall, I'd have you read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. The takeaway is that the city will be focusing its efforts on the canopy. The increasing scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no blind fee. It's a massive project with a massive budget. Lines the pockets of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate the bad press at the moment, not when Councilman Long's already thoroughly chummed the waters. Okay. Do we have anything more? Oh, this thing. High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations. Pragmatic brutalism, so textbook it could teach freshman level architecture. 40 dice roll per action. Yikes. You can almost hear a building drone on and on about concrete and iron hard right angles. Okay. Civil planning equivalents of battle scars. From Flight 1 so long ago, they're starting to look ridiculous. Which was all very imposing back when it was built. Walking in here now, with crime rates the way they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. Alright. I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. Booted up so fine. So far, so good. Good morning. Morgan, here for the public defender contract. Could you please provide your name and... Great! Please stand still for a moment. God. Jesus. I wouldn't call intake hollows charming, more like harmless. That's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind a quirk or two in their text so long as it never speaks out of turn. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and date of birth? So far so good, was it? Just scan my face. Didn't you scan my face as soon as I walked in here? Yes. So don't you already know who I am? Yes. So the only reason you're asking is to see if I'll lie? Impersonating an officer of the court is a felony. Thank you for remaining vigilant. Say, why don't you just scan my ID card? Great! Now could you confirm your date of birth for me? Why do they even bother asking? My birthday's on the damn ID card, and my profile. I'd have to be a world-class airhead to get this question wrong. My birthday's... Oh. Do I have to look in here? I do! Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Evidence. Profiles. Morgan. December 26th. Oh, I know people with that birthday. She likes puzzles, smoking, and wooden furniture. Dislikes commercials, hairdressers, and jogging. Can fall asleep in any position. Incredible. Definitely a lesbian. Decaf whiskey sour. Got it. Alright. Lock file. December 26th. Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival and for taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to Counseling Quarter 3C. Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room? I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards. Don't sweat it. I just can't keep track of every new euphemism either. Oh, there's a whole... Oh, wow, that's a lot of stuff up here. Save. Easy. Great. Love that. Get out of here. They could call it the involuntary wellness check room if they like. Doesn't change the way it makes a person feel sitting in a stifled box of one-way panels. Nothing to see but their own reflection dully warped around across gunmetal walls. Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else? Choices that progress the story and choices that represent side topics will react differently to your mouse. Oh. Keys 1 through 5 on your keyboard to choose dialogue choice. Okay. Because of what you read earlier, you unlocked an additional choice. Read and examine every opportunity to build up your knowledge and get the most of every conversation. Hello. Why, yes, this is my thing. I do love this in a visual novel. Oh. Let's see. Why the disrepair? I know the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty? This facility is currently undergoing renovations. Since when? The 60s? It has been 22 months since the timetable was last updated. They really don't see a lot of action around here, do they? I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered. I'm adaptable. What about you? They ever gonna fix that crack? Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work. Well, that's all that matters, right? What are you? What are you? I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I could send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Oh my god. It would be a subscription, wouldn't it? Oh, hi, Kirill. What am I? Gay. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages? No. Sorry. That was a mean question to ask. Hi, gay. Hi, gay. I'm gay. That'll be all, thank you. You can find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office through the door to your right. Thanks. You have some homebrew stuff at the top of which is shamanism is written is a corporate packaging of indigeneity. Hang on. As a product. Okay, I get it. Ain't no one in the manual knows anything about the Nan. Oh my god. Hello, it's me, Gay Orc. Hello, Lane. I think it's just me for now, so you could go on break if you like. Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor. Then what were you doing before I walked in? You'll find the counseling quarters past our homes. Okay. Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads don't get breaks, or they don't get my jokes. Rip. For a mere your life, you will get all the best features like being in debt or working for our great lords. The best. We love it. We don't love it. But it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. Yeah, true. Faint voice. Eyes gone bad or something? A voice. No, voices coming from down the hall. Compared to yours? Probably. Thank God I stopped for directions. A building this empty, and the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. Me too. I definitely like the kind of like noir detective sassiness that they have, with a little bit of that flavor of like a lived-in future, which I always appreciate. One voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy. Appreciate you worrying about me. God forbid I try to be serious. The others ring with youthful indignation. It's not like our job's important or anything. Definitely cops. And at this precinct, at this hour, they might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. Because why else would you bother to print all that out? One document or 100 looks the same on a datapad. Anytime you question a suspect, you need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know the better than the priest, their mother, their big brother. I wasn't going to say that. So how many of these sheets were blank then? Okay. No red carpet tonight, officers? Good? Question mark. Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around at these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle intake anyway. But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan Esquire. Pleased to meet you. Same here, counselor. Kasim London. And this ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farah Reyes. Ball of sunshine? She certainly is. Huh? Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between the departments has been hectic all night. It's no trouble. Give me time to enjoy my cigarette. Cigarette? Like tobacco? What are you, 80? She can't be more than a few years younger than me. We're the detectives in charge of this particular case. And it looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs. Pretty sure I've seen this London character around the courthouses before. He never struck me as more than just some old-timer. But I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in his profession. Sunshine is definitely a new face, though. Rigid in her posture and her attitude. 3 in the morning and her shirt still looks ironed. Freshly promoted, maybe? 2 whole detectives working at these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive on the scene. No, we're not that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes. Calls, plural. Must have been quite the commotion. Look around. You think we're the first to arrive for anything? She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation. You were about to say hi, but then you got distracted by no shirt, and then just stared for a few minutes. Well, it's Pride Month. We're allowed to do that. I'm pushing the boundaries a little bit. And by boundaries, I mean I'm staying fully within Twitch terms of service. Even if I lift up and show nip. We'll see. Our ongoing investigation. Not very subtle, is she? But I may as well bite at this point. So you can suspect that this client of mine is involved in some separate criminal activity? Wait, did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put it in a public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a little professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's the heartbreak killer in that room. And we've got the bastard dead to rights. So if you're kind, you'll help him plead it out. And if you're smart, you'll pass this shitstorm onto some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at this moment. So perhaps in the meantime, you'd be so polite as to fill me in about this heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at that rock you live under? Is there a problem? You're seriously not familiar with HK? Never heard of him. I've heard enough of him for a lifetime. That name has been plastered all over the city for weeks. Their crimes wavering between breaking news and urban legend. Their presumed goals flip-flopping from unadulterated anarchy to unappreciated vigilantism. At street corners, in the media, on the net. Everyone's indulging in the exact kind of armchair detective speculation that I can't stand. But right now I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. And when it comes to cops, I always get better results playing dumb than I do acting smart. I take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off? You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy with it. Along with everyone else. One bullet, straight through the heart. Body left to die where it falls. Hence the name Heartbreak. Not exactly creative, but amidst the swirl of every other 100-word article out there, catchiness trumps originality. Oof. Not wrong. What you won't read online is all 6 of HK's victims were shot by the same gun, without even needing to reload. So doesn't that mean he's done? If he's not going to reload. Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that? It's a whole different beast. Takes a certain kind of monster, a real freak. His pulse probably didn't even rise. I see. Sounds robotic. This might be too smart. I kind of want to play dumb. That's a pretty terrifying thought. I should really start paying more attention to the news. How I managed to miss 6 murders. Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5. Pardon? You're still not getting it? HK's 6th victim was found a few hours ago. When we caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this heartbreak killer and tonight was just his latest crime? That's a serious accusation with a very serious consequence. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up? I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Oof! Well, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make him look good for 6 murders? It's all there in the discovery files, and the ARCs, of course. Join the local net on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need. I'll bet. Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, can I ask you some questions while I've got you here? The hell kind of attorney wants to interrogate detectives? This kind of attorney. You're just that pleasant. Come on, sunshine. It's not like we're going to be punching out anytime soon, right? Whatever. Let your client stew in interrogation all night for all I care. You must mean the counseling quarters. We're at your disposal, counselor. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. So there, we've already talked to them. Anything down here? Inspect, what's this? Shouldn't have cleaned up for so much for little old me, Detective London. Someone really needs to introduce this guy to a filing system. Paper documents scattered about lazily alongside actual photographs. Either he's really old-fashioned or really paranoid about data leaks. And he doesn't look like the paranoid type. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper, I'll give him that. Barren, stark, and uninviting. This must be Reyes' desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy is admirable, but I can't spot a single mote of personalization. Is she so new that she hasn't had time to unpack? Or is she really that uptight and boring? Both, maybe. Anything else back here? Oh, back here. Read. Oh, here we go. Okay. Surging sales of Animate 16, Noble Electronics stock rose a stunning 3%. Wow, 3%. Wow, that's crazy. First generation of Androids feature over 50% organic components. Okay, warm Androids. Impractical due to increased maintenance costs, cuts, scratches, bruises, and the like. And alienating its customers in industrial sector and military sectors to cater to civilian. Animate 16 was poised to break profitability records. The work of Noble's family, Dr. Programmer, David Asher. Noble Industry Weekend. Nowhere to be seen. Hey fam, looks like you're not logged into this device. Want to put in your account info so we can help you keep reading? Jesus. That's, oof, that's a lot. Okay. Anyways, Noble Androids. Okay. Yeah, so the basic gist is like, despite alienating the other sectors, they seem like they're doing pretty well. But their lead programmer kind of disappeared. He's in the news again. It's no wonder can't spit without peace landing on Noble Tech these days, especially now where the state's involved. Don't know if they'll bite when it comes to warm androids, though. For government use, they're just too frail. All androids undergo wear and tear, especially if they're directing traffic or suppressing crowds. So if these warm androids bleed pink all over themselves every time they take a rock to the cheek, it's just an endless stream of bad photo ops waiting to happen. Okay. I like this mechanic of, like, testing your reading comprehension. It makes me engage with the lore a little bit more. I'm taking notes. I think that's it. Just observe. Loose wires, missing panels, aircon system that probably sweats more than the people it's supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office look not like shit, huh? Spending to find a lot of belt tightening at Homicide. I didn't think their operation would be this bare bones. Got a stunning clearance rate of the way they work, and they work fast. Guess the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy. But with our dear doting surveillance state eliminating so much of the footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms graced. So Homicide ends up as the only State Department with a shrinking budget. A dumping grounds for the police force's most unambitious and least popular. Okay. Nothing else jumps out at me around here. Got a better idea of who I'm dealing with at least. I need to check out the crime scene data. Should have been sent a link. You've been granted access to state files regarding case that number. C to confirm. Confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. Am I talking to a person? I'm an automated dependent. Ads are usually more polite. Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences. So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian. You need to reply C. C. It's case sensitive. C. Thank you. Jesus. If I project from my phone... Oh, look at that. A little fancy. Okay. Augmented reality crime scene. Interesting. Alright, let's see what the police have and what they think is important. Stand-up mirror shattered and knocked over. Real glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard. Hard enough to come unattached from its arm, while shards of glass were scattered far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. The victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, class 4 blood loss, atrium and aorta. Single gunshot wound in the heart, in brief. Death was instantaneous. No injuries anywhere, or no blood or skin under her nails. Okay. Blood spatter, forensics, and all that other good stuff tells them that she was shot from there. The killer was standing in the doorway when they fired. Let's look at the gun. Murder weapon, a revolver, found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers, meaning the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene techs practically disassembled the damn thing. All they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. So he was found by the police, with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. Yeah. Seems like this vase got tossed aside at some point. Hey, there's not a scratch on it. Must be pretty damn durable. Isn't all art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. That's all the big ticket items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this. But no signs of forced entry only hurt my client's case. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flagged here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown and... whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris. Flag is irrelevant? That's their technical assessment? Even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. That's everything the police highlighted. But did I miss anything? Never wrap it up that early, baby. Got this stuff. Alright. Anything up here? I feel like there's something about this area, but... Something in the victim's hand? How the hell did... Oh. Thank God for the spacebar mechanic. It's just a pill organizer. Looks like some immune adjusters, NSAIDs, and triprexazone, a synthetic glucocorticoid medication. Taken daily to reduce rejection systems like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her tox screen was clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and she still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Or is it? I mean, if it's about, like, phantom pain and rejection and stuff, doesn't that mean that they have some kind of, like, artificial limb or, like, disability aid? Everything else here is all very incriminating, but the kicker's everything that's not here. No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs. Nothing that points towards anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with less before, but not much more. I'm really gonna have to start singing for my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person that comes to mind is... I suppose it could be something important. Red. Texting with Brat. Oh my god. Well, couldn't wait until morning. Good news, of course. Got a job for you. That's a pretty cheery way to tell me you violated parole. Lol, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and a phishing scheme. I need you to sue my gym teacher. Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. Hey, at least let me finish. What did they do? Make me run laps. Not illegal. Let me finish! They made me run laps, even though I said I had a stomachache. Said. Gotta be like, youth endangerment. Depraved indifference or some kind of shit. Sounds like you've got a strong case already. Try self-representing this time. What's with the blow-off? Nice phrasing. Eros eBooks is here. It's true. I made a bot account. Its name is Eros eBooks. For all of you who remember my, rest in peace, my dear Twitter account that got, my eBooks bot account that got destroyed by the API. Alas. He lives on, saying random things in my chat. Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. See? I see. Is that your mugshot? I wasn't not gonna get a copy of my mugshot and use it as a reaction. Glad you found a use case. But I'm working right now, so... Anything cool? Homicide. Oh, cringe. You heard it here first, folks. Homicide is cringe. Oh. Wow, there we go. I had to add the permitted term sluts. Slugs have been invading your birdhouse and eating the birdseed. No! Which would be fine if they didn't slime everything gross. Which we've been calling them the sluts after that old Tumblr comic. Rather carelessly forgetting I was on the porch and just yelled back in the house, the sluts are hungry for our seed! Oh my god. I'm sure that can be, that could be explained, right? I feel like that just invites curiosity. That's a hook. That's how you get to know your neighbors. Oh, cringe. Well, wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK? Is that the kind of morbid thing you kids your age talk about? Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder is hard, like Hardy B is like, quaint. It's not heartbreak. Then why'd you take that job, lol? You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? You take up lost cause probe nose work? It's pro bono. That was autocorrect. You know they give lit homework for a reason, right? This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are a bleeding heart. Or just a sucker. I'm not a sucker. Nice phrasing, lol. You should go to bed, Fran. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can stay up if I want. Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday. What's with this Carpe Diem shit? It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You've got school in like 3 hours. Shit. I love this team too. Oh my god. I hope we get to talk more because I just love voicing them already. Repeat offenders may be good for business, but that kid's bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it. Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details? Oh, alright, here we go. Ooh, a new one. Details. So how about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with? Your client, Carlos Baker Flat, or Bacher? I'm gonna go with Bacher, was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m. Using his middle name already. I really do think he's a serial killer. The charge being the first degree of murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn. First degree? That's increasingly rare, to say the least. It's rare for us to get handed anything but crimes of passion around here. City's got damn near more cameras than people. So you gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times. And that makes him insane. I was gonna go with extraordinary. Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But nutjobs like that aren't renowned for their ability to think ahead. So what makes you think this was premeditated? How about the fact that he stalked and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? A warm-up? 5 previous bullets, 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing. So this serial killer can choose his victims at random. If they have nothing in common... Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than they all look like cousins. The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight. While those features aren't exactly uncommon, couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. Can't tell how tall she is from a portrait, but I could take the hint. So you think what, exactly? That Carlos Flat wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly that he went out and shot 5 other women first? Hey, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits, then you put the shoe on the... What Sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences. Drifters, loners, strangers, workers. He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by practicing on these other similar women. Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. They want to claim those previous victims were practically practice-run dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. But if that were the case, there had been signs of hesitation, nerves. There'd have been mistakes. On top of which, guns are impersonal. Execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred or intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend over her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile. If you ask me. We're just gonna move on from that? Okay, sure. Sure, we'll ask about the androids and cops. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning. Were you expecting a parade? I thought there'd be at least a few androids around. Are many androids in any police station this week? Not that the brass is renegotiating contracts. Oh, okay. Contracts with Noble? Good guess. Hardly. They're the biggest. Hardly. They're the biggest robotics corps there is. Could spend all day in Center City without leaving their office's shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here. Saves us some money on shipping, at least. But these talks never last long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of the month. Even with Noble pushing those warm androids? Warm, yeah. Might as well call it the adult line. Might see him in the bigger departments or out on patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective. Yet. Really? Yet? You really think it'll happen? We already use ads for patrolling, securing the scene, pacifying crowds. Doesn't seem like that big of a stretch to me. You're joking, right? Android detectives? With all the pain we go through getting witnesses to talk to us? With your worm personality? Can't imagine. Cop knocks on your door, starts asking questions, you're gonna be put in a bad mood. An ad knocks on your door, calls you a degenerate criminal in a synthesized voice loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear? You're gonna start posting shit that'll get you put on a list. Well, we certainly don't want that. The flesh and blood witnesses are becoming less and less common anyway. Cameras, sensors, satellites, we already got all our facts from the machines. Give it a few more years, it might make sense to let machines do the investigating too. The union would. The police union wouldn't let that happen. Shouldn't even have specified, it's the only real union there is anymore. Let's look at the timeline. So the time of death was around 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's events? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth. But we've managed thanks to less biased sources. And we're pretty confident about what we've seen, what we've been able to piece together from their statements. So they interviewed witnesses. Sounds eerily similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 p.m. Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us about the happy couple's domestic problems. Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks. As you probably gathered from what you saw in the arch, there was a struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. But things go quiet sometime before 9 p.m. And then there's a gunshot. Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. But we heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time. Right, emergency services got a burst of calls from the block shortly after 9 p.m. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was. But the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming. Officers arrive on the street at 9:08 p.m., establish a perimeter, enter through the open front door at 9:10 p.m., and then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood. At which point should they move to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand? Singular? Your client's modded. Cybernetic right arm. Okay, so that's what the pills are for. How modded are we talking about here? Registered with a HOW 85 habilis. Industrial grade looks like. Says the spec for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 kPa, which means a minimum grip strength of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth. So why use a gun? I guess... I mean, yeah, if it was a crime of passion... Well, no, it's not a crime of passion. They said it was first degree. Okay, I'll pay attention. Considering a career change? No, it's not that. It's just... Your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And here I thought you had just had a 14-year-old sense of fashion. You think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met. You what? Getting back on track. That arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. He can't work without it. Money got tight. The arguing? Yeah. When did he put his arm in for repairs? 8 days before HK's first victim was killed. Well, no chance he'll be willing to chalk that up to coincidence. Client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan found his fingerprints on the revolver. And no one else's. A revolver? What kind? The old kind. The real old kind. More specifically, a Calver M54, 6-chamber, 10mm. Calver, how retro. You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags. No tags? How is that? Just how old are we talking here? Yeah, 24/7 location data, timestamped trigger pulls, safeties coded in the owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags have made shooting crimes very unambiguous. So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes? Commit. Shaking my head. How else do you think he'd have gotten away with this 5 other times? If he tried to buy a gun legit, he'd probably fail the very first psych check. Even a jailbroken pieces are only good for so long before update withdrawal sets in. So then, M54, that's model year 2054. A 30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complicates things, doesn't it? In some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets. The ammunition would have had to be over 30 years old, too. The novelty of his weapon has kept us in the dark so far. But now that we have our hands on it, it's gonna put him away for good. Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig. But with the protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets. Sorry. I'm a sleepy boy. That yawn just happened. But with protocols they found, the techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets with the gun your client was found with. Oh no! Rifling marks. Bullets fired from guns that old are marked by the barrel shape. So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling marks, we know that they were all fired by the same gun. It's not as plug-and-play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. And if that's not damning enough, the spent casings from the other 5 shootings were still in the chamber. Without even needing to reload. The Calvary your client was found with is the gun that HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that. An untagged gun, just being anywhere near a weapon like that could warrant your arrest. Being found by the police over a dead body with an untagged gun used at 5 other crime scenes is just... To summarize then, you believe my client fought verbally, then physically, with his girlfriend, and then retrieved his weapon and shot her? Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his affect? Quiet, detached, stiff. Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner. That reaction may have lost him some points with the cops, but beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. So long as the police are suspicious of you, there's no right way to grieve. True. Alright. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. The less reputable sites are doing some real journalistic acrobatics to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read. It's not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. The freaks that HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks. Can you blame them, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are endangered species. But he's gotten away with. We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around us, Detective. National DNA Registry is robust enough that cases never go cold. Cameras on every street, a phone on every citizen, violent crime at an all-time low, and clearance rates at all-time highs. But, you're gonna spout some alt-pol bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along... Good point. London's trying to look like he can laugh it off. The pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, maybe need, to see someone charged. And that makes them predictable. Ooh. Sassy. This is a interesting little interstitial when it pops in. I'm hydrating. I'm hydrating without being prompted to because I'm talking so damn much. Yeah, well, even if nothing's standard about HK, Department of SOP still dictates we starve the media for case details. That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get. We can't take all the credit this time around. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the opt-in crime surveillance system. How is that even possible? I know that there are some rough areas in lower wards, but optics is watching every other street in this entire city. You're saying you haven't seen a serial camera once? This killer on camera once. You think we'd have let him kill 6 people if we did? I understand your concern, ma'am, but optics is only what it says in the name. Private surveillance system signing up to feed into the state's security network. It's not perfect, just another one of many public safety tools in our belt. It's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to help us solve crimes. Or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Fat chance. Deterrents are for war rooms and board meetings. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this couldn't care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions. It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes in it. but it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved, but the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts, and the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict. I see. But those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, pub data, or city planning. They'd have mentioned it if my client was a cop, and he wouldn't have needed a public defender either. This file says he's modded for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfacing, so that just leaves city planning. So does he work construction for the city? HK's only ever struck at times and locations where optics would be down. Even with the devil's own luck, it can't possibly be coincidence. Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed? Yeah. There was a blackout from 8 to 9 tonight. Right on schedule, so to speak. And it included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. Well, what about DNA from the other crime scenes? Was my client a match? There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes. No footage and no forensics? Also no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. Didn't even have a murder weapon. Until now. Finally, a lucky break for the boys in blue. Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. But HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we even caught him tonight was all because he finished what he had set out to do all along. So was my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects. We questioned some X's, a few CIs, someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some point. Nothing came of it. There was talk about starting some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come of that. There's just not enough there to work with. In other words, the only thing they could have to link my client to those killings is the murder weapon. If I can jostle that keystone, then the rest of their case should start to come loose as well. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes as you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found this handwritten confession at his desk. Okay. That's something. Well, that's unexpected. I'm sorry. You're now telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified? Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line. Why bother? The note's covered in his fingerprints. There's a copy in discovery data, but I should warn you. It doesn't exactly make for light reading. I'll have to manage somehow. I need to see this confession for myself. Oh, are we reading it? Okay. I'm going to... I see an ad break coming. So I'm going to hit that ad button, and we're going to read this together when I get back. PRP, everybody. Blam. We doing it? There it goes. Okay. Alright, I think we're back. Okay. Let's read it together. Sorry for everything. Can't say it enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or do what I did. Did not want any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when I get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first. But I was hurting. Wanted to hurt too. Wanted you to hurt too, but didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough. I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me. This does not... I don't know. I feel like this could mean a lot of different things. This is very purposefully misleading. Let's go. That was difficult to read. Barely legible, in fact. Well, got a spin on that? No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he signed, though, is it? Not yet. And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering he asked for representation. Yeah, the most wanted... Oh, wrong voice. Yeah, the most wanted man in the city asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my client. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he? Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel or unusual. And that's for your safety as well. It's kind of you to worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously, though, I'd like to speak with him alone now. Camera's off, if you don't mind. Mic's on or off is your call, counselor. We'll be watching the feed from right outside in case anything happens. And the cuff, that is, stays on. Worried about me? How chivalrous. Yeah, my armor's practically blinding. Gross. I'll start up the unlock cycle. Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession. Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show, detective. I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he's also caused 6 weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That's a capital crime if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not going to like whatever rehabilitation plan they drop for him. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's being challenged before the Supreme Court. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from, well, that's probably a win for your client, right? Prison sentences are generally lighter for those who plead guilty, that much is true. It saves the courts a great deal of time and money, and they show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one will ever be grateful towards the Heartbreak Killer. Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. Alright. 3:35 a.m. D03. Oh, okay, here is a guy. It's depressing as hell in here. You need to liven this place up. Carlos Flat, right? Hope you don't mind I get comfortable. We've got a lot to cover, but this shouldn't take all night. What are you... Look, I already told you people, I'm not a cop, Carlos. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you. Yeah, well, they said that too. All of them did. Back there, in here, kept repeating it the whole ride over. They said they were going to help me, and that they knew this was all a mistake. Then they said that I killed, acting like they were on my side, and they thought I could have. It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine, and I'm here now. He's still in shock. I need more information, but if I approach this the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like to try and answer a few questions. The police already questioned you, I'm sure. But they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client. Okay. So what do you want to know? About you! Tell me about you! Let's start something mundane, grounded, and rote. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in? I'm with City Engineering. Or I was, or I should be. As I thought, the police must be convinced he mapped the optics blackouts using data he stole from work. My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And, Carlos, I'm gonna need more than that. So what do I know? He works in City Engineering, not a desk job. Ray said he was modded for work, and that arm must be in custody at the moment. But based on his shoulder, it'd have to be pretty utilitarian. Utilitarian, yeah. He doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and the restless and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks. Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. No, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. It's lesbian lawyer time! It's true. We're going. Hey there. Welcome, welcome. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod. Really? Really. I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. A whole career path of promotions and bonuses, and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results politely informing him that he's not a viable candidate. That sucks. I think he felt relieved, actually. It seemed like he was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad that he didn't have to choose. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think it does. I always figured if I'd start at all, I'd start small, a hand or an eye, test the water. Never thought about lobbing my old damn arm off, but the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, because of the NCDA, there was financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit canned, so now me and every other modder is royally screwed. Couldn't even let me keep the tax credit. The new Citizens with Disabilities Act was amended, not repealed, but I doubt he'd appreciate the distinction at the moment. I worked in the tighter spaces, the high-volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know. He's speaking freely now, don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to him to keep him talking. But the right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy, you must be good with heights. Oh, under a lot of pressure because of the thing we read. Must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off. Damn straight, and with the crap, is crap with Long? Once word got out that the case against him was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. All of them convinced the internal affairs is going to come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving, no room for engineering. Yeah, and no patience for screw-ups. He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic right now, Carlos? Yeah, that. Rejection issues, starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights. Rejection? Did the therapy not take? It's not like that. I wasn't oozing pus out of my sockets or anything. Then do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars? Not in the way you're thinking. I'm right-handed. So the cuts on his face are just from shaving? Never thought this would go on so long I'd have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said. An easy fix. The problem got bigger. Couldn't let it get that far. Need to be able to trust your own hands. God, thrust. Sure is Pride Month, isn't it? Never need to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter at the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line. Where'd you turn it in? Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't. Doesn't sound like you're a happy customer. Hell no. I found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. But as long as I'm renting and not owning, the manufacturer decides where your arm gets maintenance. And that's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I've got 2 working arms again. You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself just in the meantime? I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white-knuckle tight. Hindi? How Industries? As I recall, he's registered with one of their Habilis models. If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines, I'd lose the down payment and my arm. I'd never work in this city again. If this was the last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that longs in deep hot shit. You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain? Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill you. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything. Arm-shaped attached to me. Didn't they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this? What they gave me is a deadweight, 3-jointed landfill bait piece of shit. Sorry, it's a very shitty feeling, having a part of your body that you know they cut corners on. It fits. It's compatible, technically. I can slot it in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend, and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep, or dead. So you were wearing it when you were arrested? Were you wearing it when you were arrested? No, I wasn't. I'm pretty sure I saw the police bagging it as evidence, so can't have gotten too far. So Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm only because in that time of question he didn't even have a right. No inconsistencies on the story so far, and he's opened up as well as can be expected. But has this all just been a warm-up for the both of us? Oh, this has all been just a warm-up for the both of us. Punctuation matters. Now comes the delicate part. Okay. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you two know each other? Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics. Focused her studies on agriculture. It always takes them a few tries to get used to using past tense. Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired right out the gate. Practically headhunted, you can believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company would be lucky to have her, unlike... It was a real-ass job. Paid real-ass money, too. So her career was starting to pan out. Bright as yours had fallen into the mother of all slumps. Where was she hired? Pedigree? No, Perigee Laboratories. I say that like the name matters. The whole setup's under Harco's umbrella. That doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One client that size, the lab wouldn't need any others. Now, no corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting, but Harco is about as tame as big businesses can get. Predictable like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. The eyes the game uses are really growing on me. Yeah! At first it was a little bit like, the art style was like, I wouldn't say like not my taste, but like, it was very particular, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. But now that I'm like, you know, an hour and chunk change in here, I'm very into this like general art style, and the eyes especially. Yeah. Had she adjusted well to her new job? Yeah, they loved having her there. She never mentioned any arguments or disputes, corporate politics getting rough? I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. But I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done with that would deserve what happened to her. It was a long shot, hoping for a disgruntled character from her past to shift blame onto. But with no other suspects, I can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. Thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful. It was? Now I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened tonight. Oh. Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important. Alright, Miss, Morgan. I'll try it, Morgan. When you're ready. We were arguing. We had been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I haven't been working, haven't been making money, haven't been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than that, I was jealous of her. Jealous of her nothing. Jealous of her goddamn money. The reports say you were arguing around 8 p.m.? 8? Yeah, that must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things I shouldn't have. I said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line and we both knew it, so I left. You left? Yeah, walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help cool me off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid, thick like mud. And while I was pissing away the time, Diane was... Did you bring your phone with you, or any other electronics? No. I kind of stormed off, didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me. With optics down, traffic and street level cameras won't help him. That leaves... Did you go through a checkpoint, or talk to anyone with modded eyes? Did you buy anything, cash or credit? No, not even a vending machine. Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. How can anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate. I just wanted quiet at the time. I wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details quite right. My head is... But if my exact route would help, the cam's probably... What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen? And there's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you've got no alibi. This can't... Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't... Carlos. I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, I'm your lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with. Right. Now you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back? I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. I was walking back at first. But at some point I must have started running. Because when I got back I was so out of breath. And when I saw that the front door was open, something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't... You live on the first floor, right? Yeah, first floor apartment. Street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of a big deal. From the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought she was... The lights were off. The whole room was a mess. I thought we had been robbed, or she had fallen, or... There was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name and she didn't move. I checked her pulse and she was still warm. Her blood was still warm. And I saw... the gun. It looked so heavy. But I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real. Is that why you picked it up? What? Pick it up? I didn't touch that thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it! Doing what I do, you hear a lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies. Bad lies, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie. But it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but he's nervous and defensive. None of this works if he doesn't trust me. Checking your phone? If your clients notice that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you credit. Shit. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact, because... of your prints, right? Pretty sure. Revolver. Bears fingerprints matching Carlos Baker Flat's left hand with 99.91% certainty. Yeah. Get out of here. Because of your prints. It's a fact that your fingerprints are on that gun. What? But I didn't do this. I didn't. I wasn't thinking. I was just... Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all. Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun? That explains how his prints got on the gun. But not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, if all he did was hold a gun... So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing in my own home right in front of... You were in shock, Carlos. You still are. The police came in some time after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect. Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you're saying that you two never had a physical fight? What? Physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say that we did? They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos told me, what else did they assume? What is it? I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene. Oh. It's an AR module built from data taken as the police entered, so... Right, it's just data, Carlos. No grisly details. Okay. Let me see it. Take your time. Alright, I think I've got it. That's how the police found things. Oh no, that's her. That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place. Alright. I'll take notes. You say whatever comes to mind. I don't remember exactly where everything was. But well, the mirror was upright, of course, and the clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed. The cushion's torn. And the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry, that's all that stands out to me. I see. Like so? Nice. What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instinct. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up. It's just a... I guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR. Well, I suppose that works too. Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing was pretty good, considering... I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos. Right. Let's talk about the letter that was found on your desk. Letter? What do you mean? I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession. A confession? But this is just a note to self. Pardon? Look, when we fight, I lose my temper and say things I don't mean to. So this morning I tried to write things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her. That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, this just feels like I wish I could apologize better. Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them? That's... I broke her fidget tubbies. Her what? Ahem. Her what? Her fidget tub. Oh my god! Look at them! They're so... They're these collectible ceramic character things. They're supposed to be like tactile. You use them as paperweights or conversation starters. Conversation starters? She loved those little things. They're not worth a damn, but you can buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know where I'm swinging it half the time. Got so angry I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room. Cheap, dusty, worthless. Okay, let's say he did break her frigiduckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail to note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down to write it. But if the police insist on claiming it's a confession for the heartbreak killings anyway... Couldn't even bother to sweep them up. I felt so... Alright, Carlos. Thanks for answering my questions. I'm gonna call the police back in here and I'm gonna get this cleared up for you. What? That's it? That's it? Oh, okay. Although, before I do that, I have to ask. What do you know about the Heartbreak Killer? Yikes. Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess. I haven't been getting out much, but I'm sure everybody's on edge, a guy like that out there. He shoots people. Through the heart, right? The police have kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, he wouldn't notice any resemblance to his girlfriend. I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that's just... That doesn't mean anything, does it? If he's this slow on the uptake, it's going to be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory. As quickly and as definitively as possible. Alright, 4 a.m., baby. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee. I guess so. Nervous? Oh, no, sorry. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right, I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It'll be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh. And what areas are those? Do you ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Wouldn't touch the stuff. I meant more like playing cards. Oh. Well, no to that, too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. Well, what I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win, which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker. And the state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up there and we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do? We play the cards we're dealt, as best we can. Win more hands than we lose. Keep it up and eventually someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. Psst. What's up? Oh, no, what's up? You know there's a saying about gamblers with strategies? Yo, ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. District attorneys have final say on whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long, protracted trials. And they all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, then, you'll have to call them back. Because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. That's what she said. You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession? Let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts, what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint-by-numbers stuff. See, we found this note a note at his apartment, with his fingerprints on it, apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts, but I've been building up in my hand all night, and now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology, but not for murder. He was apologizing for... Analyze the facts I laid out, then thumb through your responses in your hand. Drag and drop the card, the best answer to the argument, and the slot on the right. You can mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder on what key point you're answering. He wrote a confession. I see. Debris... No. Oh, the ceramic! That's right. Those little things. They fidget tubbies. Ceramic conversation starters. That's right. Alright. We know what that is now. The debris. He was simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? That's not the voice. The hell is that? I won my first hand. Hooray. Like a flex. Yeah. I found myself asking that exact same question. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room, it's created from data you captured, right? Pure, non-GMO, augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit, for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. The hell's that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase... wasn't there, right? Was somewhere else, I want to say? Do we have vase? Weighty and sturdy, it remains featureless even after being tossed. It wasn't damaged, right? Yeah. I'm gonna say it wasn't damaged. It's not possible for that debris to come from the vase. Because the vase is still pristine. How is that possible? Did I get it wrong? I might have fucked it up. The lady at the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it, the one time I tried a thrift shop on my own. Okay, it was just him. Well, so what? What does it even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it, then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote the apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am, because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of fidget tubbies. What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident. I'm sorry, I can't get over fidget tubbies in that voice. Fidget tubbies. And that impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously, as much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note, and we can plainly see that there's ceramic debris on the crime scene. Now, since that couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Those things! Those things, oh my god. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? This entire room is trashed, as the arcs clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle, too. You really gonna claim he sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that. And there's proof. The rental? I'm gonna say let's check the rental. The rental base, no? Do we have oh, his prosthetic, that's right. No, that's not the one. Is it the rent? Oh, the rent, there it is. Discarded in frustration after smashing the victim's collectibles has more since. The revolver and the note. Wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't mean to at first, but I was hurting. I'm gonna say the note. I'm gonna say the note. You just need to look at the confession. Seen it already. Read it from front to back. Not one mention of fidget tubbies. Oh, fuck. Ah, I lost a credit! Alright. Can't bluff my way through this part. Let me show exactly how those fidget tubbies got turned into dust in order to move. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. She said they broke during the shooting. I get it now. It's the rental. There we go. Slam it down. In attack mode. Just take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your fingers should show them exactly how devastating it was to the Fickle Buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm. While he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed. Because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. Said that the rental hasn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gotten pretty late, Sunshine. I'm trying to save us some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. You expect me to believe that he was upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? It's because he was left-handed, right? Like, it has to be. Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles. You're correct. They hold no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not the panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks that way is because Carlos is... Oh, that's right. The note is left-handed, but he's right-handed. Carlos is right-handed. Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something? So the reason why the notes look like asylum wall scribbles is just because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice. Taking that into account, alongside the ceramics, your slam-dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine. Forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, the coat is... What, you're gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? She's trying to bait me, in her typical low-key fashion. As the arguments flow, you won't always have the stronger hand. Oh! Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible while you wait for a more favorable chance. Oh! Interesting. I've not seen a game with this kind of mechanic before. Alright, alright. I'm game. She must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, Detective? I'm just curious. What'll it be next? You gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small? Stay. He doesn't wear an extra small or an extra small. Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah, sure there's no evil twin you're forgetting to mention? There's no evil twin. No, I'm afraid not. Now you're gonna go for a mysterious third party at the scene of the crime? To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. We're going there now without hard evidence. This is a really cool mechanic. I like the poker angle of this. I don't want to prove a third party. Not yet. I have no evidence of a third person at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arcs. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't going to win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, Detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smart. Hey, but not illegal either. And that's all? He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier just to show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway. And here I thought this room smelled like... Morgan, what are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. Doesn't that, like, make me look really bad? Just relax, Carlos. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you, not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. God. People with bad luck or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes coaxing. What was it that reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us that this is actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, so we know who died when she was shot in the heart. By a gun that happens to be an old-world pre-tagging firearm. And so this coat proves that he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be the key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. Smell? Feel? Alright, let's have a look at the evidence. The coat. Blood on the sleeve matches that of the victim. Just coat. Initial test show the blood on the... Yeah. Blood statement. Mirrors up tight. The chair got knocked over. Shot through the heart. Victim was shot through the... Well, Alright, let's look at the... Feel, see, smell. What's up with the coat? It's feel, see, or smell. Coat. No other details of any forensic... Oh! Because there's no gunpowder! So he couldn't have fired it. Because he only has one arm. It was clearly Professor Plum in the billiards room with the candlestick. I feel like we're getting there. What you can smell on the coat with your... I'm gonna go with smell, in theory. Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of... cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You want me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store, prone to misfiring. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms, like the ones we carry, use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure, or sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue? You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one? It'd leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then, his coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they had found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they'd have taken the time to highlight it. Whatever. That just means he washed it off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible, but it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue, just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flatt is facing. As soon as possible. Whoa. They're faltering now. Should topple over any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them, but the gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit, things were a little dicey at times. Once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say, did she get a message? Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Did I miss something there? No, okay. Close. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting. And right now, I'm staring at a photo of the killer. Wanna bet? Oh! Fun. A photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. Ooh. She must be bluffing. She must have something. I think I want to see her... I want to see what she has. I'm not sure I follow, Detective. Hello, Octorix. Didn't we establish that there was an optics blackout during the shooting? Sure there was. But this isn't from optics. Ah, shit! Good thing I held my tongue. As I thought, the scrubbers must have managed to dig up something outside the network. Which means... Handsome mark... Oh, thank you. It's Pride Month. The shirts are off. It's hot. That's the only reason. Just hydrating real quick. Talking a lot. Which means... Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Normalize mpreg for Pride Month? Breeding is a bit of a straight thing to do, though. However, mpreg is very not straight, and I like that. So, I think I would say I'm for it. Well, okay, the quality is lacking. And yet, there it is. We managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. Mpreggers with eggers. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are... Well, it's a little bit... blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the damn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone, probably venting about how crazy the couple across the way was acting. But their phone was on, its camera would be on, and so we managed to get this shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra-low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further. I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility into court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. And there's no way in hell you could get this past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. The photo. What the hell's happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know that had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? We've established that he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side, a left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you were going, you somehow end up dry. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is, but that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos's incident, that photo is real. If both are true, then that means the photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken exactly? Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we DN on the phone's owner and ask them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tells us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that this was taken across from the north window. From the north? If this is from the north, then why can we clearly see the... It's not that complicated. The neighbor who got shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I should seize the opportunity to start turning the tide. She's wrong. The photo was taken from the west, from the north. Let's have a look, baby. Evidence, photograph. It's through some blinds, it looks like. Camera's not set to photo. Amount quality is fairly limited. Photo's been cleaned up as best as possible. Crime scene map. Northern window facing the southern hallway. Shows the western window. Where's the ARC's data? Can I jump back into this? No, I can't. Okay. Victim was shot from the room's doorway. Glass shards. Photograph. So the clock is at like 9 p.m. That is about the same time. Left-handed. What's going on down here? It's the blinds that are really getting me here. It's gotta be... This it's from the north. It doesn't have the blinds, does it? What? Wait, so... If it's from the west, right? From the north. It's gotta be from the west, right? Because... Wouldn't the mirror have been up, blocking the window, otherwise? Like... Because it was... Clearly, the window was shot, or the mirror was shot, I'm pretty sure. So it's gotta be west. It's a heck of an angle, though. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna try it. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. The photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell you mean was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. The officer's ARC's data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And... Ooh, raise the ante on a hand up to the credit max. Answer wrong and you lose credit, but answer correctly, and you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. Ooh, okay. Altogether, that tells us the photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider... Mirror was upright, clock was on the wall. Yeah. Cushions in bed were neat. I think it was the statement, right? Flat statement. The mirror was upright. Clock was on the wall. Yeah. Alright, I'm feeling pretty confident. So I will... Oh, I didn't know... Oh, did I not press the thing? Maybe I didn't press it enough. I thought I did. The clock? What about it? That clock, huh? Seems like London's got the idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. I'm pretty sure the time of death is correct. Autopsy report. Time of death, 9 p.m. Let's, raise the stakes. The time of death is correct. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer is no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree. The time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistaking that. So what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in the photo, analog style, and it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. But there's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but... Do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock, because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. Oh, I think I accidentally picked the right answer. Wee-hee! My favorite way to progress here on twitch.tv/orcvibes. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's very distinct. Oh, thanks for the follow, man. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs? And show you my hand? Just because the discovery law compels us to share info. Doesn't mean we have to play fair, Detective. Slipped my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing was that if the clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, Then this photo must be looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m. the same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. But you want to claim that the clock's still on the eastern wall, when it would have been knocked down during the fighting? You've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Aw, shit. Oh, I see, I can do it. I hit the button. Oh, that's max. We'll do 3. The room was trashed before the shooting. No. Shards fell onto the victim. That's why. Cheap, durable ceramic. Not even scratch. I'm gonna go, yeah, shards fell onto the victim because the trashing happened after the shooting. Glass shards? What about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. And not under it. Yeah, I played Danganronpa Case 4. I know all about how glass falls onto the victim's body and stuff. That may be the worst thing I've ever said. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane and not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal. Things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, it seems like there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over afterwards? He still shot her. And we have a photo right here. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. Alright, we're gonna do this. I see an ad break coming. I'm gonna pop in, leave you with the dance music, I guess. And I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Boom. Alright, I think we're back. Hopefully we're back. Alright. Like hell it can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed, that clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit? That's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is he used it to murder 6 innocent people. What? You're a very honest person, Detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. Oh-ho! You played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right out from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is... the mirror, right? Yeah! This is a photo of the shooter. No. It's a photo of the mirror because the shooter's right-handed. Ah! Ahaha! I'm going all in, baby. We're doing it. Give me the correct card, thank you. Alright, baby. Let's do it! What is that? You trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure. They came from a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across from the room from the western window. But then that would mean, at that angle, from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with the gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And it's 3? Well, I guess, well, Gonna just let that slide. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered. Because it just proved my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is an obvious gambler. Sunk Cost has got his teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. The plot thickens. Exactly. Just like the orcs. We love a thick orc. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. And allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, my client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling from the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts... Boy, that's loud. Hang on. We're really bumping. Alright. Here we go. Oops. Hang on. After being confronted with these facts, we see the photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting. And instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim that it depicted my client, a man without the requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. That's the best you've got? Even a bare-bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. You'd have to bring into a clinic, which would have had to left a record on his shoulder. OS. A record you won't find. And he'd still have somehow gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full-spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Damn! Well? Any objections? Detective? God damn it! Oh, full. We love it. We love it. We love it. Take the L. We got her. She got a little bit too excited. Show me your hand, Flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective, lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger and she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, Detective. But my work is its own reward. Is it? You should get paid. Sure. I feel exactly the same, Counselor. But what happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay. But what am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation into heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what I... Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. But what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself. To try and convince them that I didn't... You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to... No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. What? Excuse me? The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find, hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain unfurling towards an invisible sun. It's not like a metaphor or anything. They're not going to fake me out. Is this for real? A perfectly unique bloom. Only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with singular universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of lowbrow appeal. Are we going to talk about this? Okay. Happy Wrath Month, I guess. When I was told that this had lesbians and murder, I didn't think that the lesbian would be doing the murder. I'm still not so recently I've been watching an anime that did end their first episode with a surprise shock dead body. And it did make me think, okay, we're going to investigate that. No, it was just a weird, vision by the main character. And then I watched another couple episodes, and the character that originally died in the same way again. And I'm a little bit I've been a little bit tetchy because of that, because they haven't addressed that yet in the anime. And I'm like, can I trust this part? Did she do it? I don't know. Is this a metaphor? I'm not sure. No, okay, this is her. All right, in the room. Got it. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. So we're gonna, okay, yeah? So they just put her name as Heartbreak now. Okay. Not Morgan. Wait, no. Criminal defense attorney, high places, gambling guns, noisy people. This is different than last time. Batting cages? What is going on here? Alright, okay. We've got Morgan. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. They have a... And for Heartbreak, it's criminal, comma, defense attorney. Smoking wood. So is it like a... Is this like a split personality, Jekyll Hyde kind of situation? Same blood type, yeah. Is she playing like a gamble with everybody to see if she can get caught? Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a bare bit of cash. The cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Mupping around in the dark, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend, back for an encore of that enthralling conversation? Can't ask her now. Hey. Yeah, did you hear that? Those old pieces are so goddamn loud. People aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the damn neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least organized even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there's shit on the floor. By the window there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them, not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it, probably more tasteless bullshit. Toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it will be consistent. This game's taking Be Gay Do Crime to a different angle. This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Ugh. Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess with over something that's none of their business? All the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. All for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I'd feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. Man, that's not to take away from this, yeah. And he got rejected one too many times, or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air's weighty tonight. Thick, energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel in every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off, when the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this, and I walk. Okay, so Sorry, using my left is still... That's okay, you can just initial in these spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m. a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, in enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was of course innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans, depending on his looks. More attention on the HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always a preferable one to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find the culprit. Now, heartbreaking and starved to death, out of sight and mind, just like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with this case. Oh, the case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. Ha! I was a little curious. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously everything turned out rosy. And it's worth for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house. That's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too. Funny. I didn't even know her name. Damn! Alright, okay, so, Huh. Interesting. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died... Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but... I just keep thinking of... She must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me. Oh... I have evidence. To tell you the truth... Oh, sorry. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself. What is it? Something I noticed in the ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I couldn't fit anywhere else. Maybe you can make sense of it. Meds for a modder. What is the... Where did you find that? The pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained triprexazone, prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky clasps, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. But as far as the facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. "5:01 a.m., okay. Long night. That was too far just now. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings, I doubt I'll ever see him again. But overstepping like that is pure hubris. And hubris invites a downfall. I don't know, I kinda... might be okay with that. I'm very compelled to continue playing her perspective. But I'm not sure I want her to get away with everything. So why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. I was right! I called it! Not for the particular reason, but I did say it's 1 gun, 6 bullets, 6 victims. All good, baby. No more. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will ever... Oh! Found you. District Attorney Rockford. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. Toxic Yuri time? By all means. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. Thank you. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise, aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Oh! Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all the adversarial energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. Okay, I get the toxic Yuri part now. It's part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What have they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well, actually I'm here for you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings? That's my case. Well, then you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl, Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for the trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flat, a serial killer? The same serial killer that's... Oh, sorry. The same serial killer that's outsmarted the state for weeks. She's not using his middle name. He was found with a murder weapon. But I can answer that any number of ways. It could have been Flat. I think... the photo. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever it was about. His dominant arm modded, with documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy not to leave imprints. She got all that from a glance? I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that out the minute you walked in here. Of course. The worst part is, she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, the... Right, sorry, you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of the criminal's psychology based on evidence for their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much needed to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100 the who is caught on camera. Or before they even leave the house. I had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. Let's talk about profiling. So this profiling, is it some kind of investigative technique? The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest that they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the things that you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. The The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked up a scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that in this metaphor I would be. Know what I mean? Definitely. And consider the marksmanship. The detective said that the HK would have needed insider information on optics. So does that mean art breaks in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. He'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary. These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves? I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK's not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing? Crime metastatistics analysis, probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips, and... Sorry, technical, I know. Insert themselves, I'm listening. But all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Well, at least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it, he chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident and he can do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I've found. Other victims that fit the description? No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other. Guys. I've been looking at the text a lot to make sure that I'm reading everything correctly. This is the first time I've noticed, brown hair, brown eyes? Interesting. Very interesting stuff, isn't it? Take a sip. Interesting. Oh, boy. You weren't kidding with Toxic Yuri. God. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. What did I just say? I just said that. Do they? Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think heartbreak is a misnomer. You got something catchier in mind? I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills, guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. The real signature isn't the bullets or the gun, it's the perfection. That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake? Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right? Based on what you've said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary. I don't follow. This was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish, and cowardly, and two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all that? That? No. That part's just takes one to know one. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type. In a city with an 8-digit population. Well, good luck! Emma is reading her. Yeah, it's so true. God. I don't need luck. I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan. I mean, I need more crime scenes. Oh. Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Woof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more. Or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. You think a higher thread count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first on the table, I won't even take a picture. Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. And the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off her. As long as that's the case, I might as well try to enjoy the view. Okay. Okay, I'm into it. I'm feeling it. Who's this? Android, okay. Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to look that upset over it. It's Maya Fey, no! Either she's going to get blamed for murder, or her entire family's going to get killed somehow. Or do the murder. I don't know. My face barely moved. It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on. It'll be fun. Really? Really. Educational, too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. Uh-oh! Okay. Evil little bug. Congratulations. That's a very cool art direction for this game. I am feeling it. At first I wasn't sure if I would like it because it's very like flashy and dynamic in ways that might be a little over much for me. But in the flow of it worked really well. Programming. Patrick MCF. 3D modeling. 3D. Oh, that's right. There were 3D models. I always just like look at the characters, and so sometimes I forget. Yeah, there are 3D models. Environments. Oh, we did them. Both of them did the environments. That's cool. Brian Mulholland. Okay. Good job. At first I wasn't sure about the character design, but having played Chapter 1, it's perfect. Okay. Good to know. Volunteer playtesting by a lot of people. Good. Special thanks to these folks. This is a really, like, polished package for so few people working on this. I'm very impressed. Made with Unity. Nanny novel. Okay, good to know. Look at all those things. 10th circle of the devil. Yeah! And he shall appear. You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world. You're a criminal defense attorney, and we're at a crime scene. I can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything that wasn't already compromised. Work hard, and the company will have you set for life, and after, too. I can't tell you how many musicians I've screwed over by a big smile and a fight standing... Oh, I've seen screwed over. Not him, okay. By a big smile and a fat signing bonus. So it's not just a lawyer job thing? You dress like a doorman on the weekends, too? Compared to determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. Oh, is this the coroner? That's kind of a cool design for the coroner. Okay. The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. But it's a million times more likely than the alternative. The heartbreak could ever stop themselves from the killing. Father said that you owed him. I didn't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Episode 1. An idle mind. Okay. Hell yeah. I'm feeling it. Oh yeah, give me that. I only fucked up a couple times. 2 of 2 articles. 6 of 6 profiles, okay. 18 key terms. 17 pieces of evidence. 32 credits. Congratulations, you finished episode 3, or episode 0 was 32 credit. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score. Wow. I have 32 remaining store credit to spend on phone charms and case colors. Based on the episode, highest credit you finish this episode with. Okay. That's very cool. However, this is a perfect time to stop the stream. Let's see. We're going to go back to the main menu. Nice. Bring some of the music back up a bit. There we go. But first... Alright. Hang on. I'm gonna go ahead and be a little slutty. And we're gonna show Nip. Just for a little part. Just 'cause it's Pride Month. It's a treat for ourselves. But first, let's figure out who we're rating. I'm very interested in continuing this game, but I'll probably save episode 1 for a little while because you know what is releasing on Thursday, and it's my first time streaming that franchise, and I'm very excited for that. But I want to continue this. My voice can't handle doing these twice a week anyway, so I think I'll be okay. It is a really neat one. Yeah, I'm very impressed, and the hook is the first episode hook, the cliffhanger. I'm very intrigued. All right, let's see who's online right now. I might have to keep this track. Like, get the OST off of Bandcamp if they have it. Because, boy howdy. What are we looking at? Should we raid Kirill? I know I raid Kirill a lot. But last time, he raided me. Let's see. You know, I gotta refresh so I get the most up-to-date. Oh! He's playing golf with your friends. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna raid Kirill. We're gonna say, I don't know. I've been chatting so much, I don't really have a raid message. So I think we'll just start the raid. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll say hello. A nice little surprise for him. Blam. Thank you all for joining me. That was an absolute delight. I'm excited for more of it, and I'm excited to stream later this week as well. I'm going to be streaming more for Pride Month this year than maybe any year I've been streaming. Probably because I have a bunch of time. Thank God for that. It's a Pride Month where we deserve to hang out with each other and avoid toxic social media spaces. It's a great year for that. Thank you all again for joining me. Do the end credits. Blam, there they are, right in the chat. As always, thank you to Lude Leech for my avatar. Check them out on Blue Sky. They just posted something very saucy, if that's your style. If not, don't check him out. He makes a lot of saucy stuff. But yeah, otherwise you can find all my links in the chat there. Hit me up. You can take a look at my lore. I have a lot of lore. I've been tinkering away at some things. Nothing to share yet, but I'm working on it. And yeah, for now we'll go say hi to Kirill Orc Florist, playing golf with your friends. And I'll see you guys on Thursday for, I guess, this little indie game that nobody's ever heard of. About Delta planes? I'm not sure. It's something like that. It'll be fun. But I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.
I'm in it for a derogatory.